Today's subject is about how to be successful in losing weight long term, you have to experiment. And I'm going to start in a little bit of a different way by telling a story. And this morning I was reading to my 5-year-old daughter, I think it's the 6th or 7th book in the Little House on the Prairie series. It was called The Long Winter. And basically there's a group of people, families that are in this town, and there's just been one blizzard after another for month after month, like maybe a day break and then 3 or 4 days of blizzard over and over, and people are freezing and people are running out of food because the train can't get there. And these two young men, they're 19 years old, one of them decides that he can't see this happening to the other people in the town. And so he decides that he is going to go find this house that might have wheat in it that people will be able to eat. And this other guy, his name is Cap Garland, and the first person is Almanzo, who is going to be Laura Ingalls' future husband. They decide that they are going to go in between blizzards. They have like one day, maybe, to go get some wheat and hopefully get food for the town. And so they each have a horse and a sled, and they start on this epic journey where the horses keep falling into the snow and they have to dig the horses out. And they don't really know exactly where they're going or if there even is a guy with wheat. And so they go on this 20-mile journey, and they're like freezing cold, and they're potentially not going to make it back. And they know this. But they finally see some smoke coming out of a snowbank, because the house is completely covered in snow. And they find this man, and the guy doesn't want to sell him wheat at first, but finally they sell him wheat. And then they get back on their sleds with the wheat for the town, and they're about halfway back. Their hands are starting to probably get frostbitten. They can't move their hands anymore. They can't really move their toes. And a blizzard starts to come. And this blizzard basically makes it so that any direction that they would have been able to find this town, they're no longer able to find it. It's a whiteout blizzard, and they still have a number of miles to go. And so that's actually where the chapter ends. I don't know what happens next because I didn't read the next chapter yet, but I started thinking about how these guys were pushed into an experiment where they had to go and do something, and they weren't even sure if they were going to live, but they were doing it because they wanted to help the people in the town. So to me, this correlates with the whole idea that our whole lives is an experiment, and we're always trying new things. Some things don't work, some things do work. If we get involved in the things that don't work, we feel like a failure. And if we don't, and we actually learn from the things that we don't do so well in or that we fail at, then we are able to make a different direction in our course. And to me, this was a huge reason that I was able to lose 50 pounds and keep it off, because I considered the whole process of losing weight an experiment. And what I mean by that is trying something. Like, I get lots and lots of emails from people every day, and people will say like they tried a particular diet and it didn't work, and they consider themselves a failure. And the truth is that if you try a certain diet and it doesn't work, that actually is a success, because now you know that that path isn't going to work, and now it's time to try a different path. And, I am somebody who promotes the Mediterranean diet, but not every food in the Mediterranean diet is actually good for me. And somebody wrote to me yesterday and they said, I want to do the Mediterranean diet because it's good for inflammation, and I have really horrible inflammation and pain in my joints. And I told them that, yes, the overall Mediterranean diet is really good for inflammation, but there might be certain foods in there that are not good for your inflammation. And so you have to experiment and try different things. And that's what I did when I lost weight. I learned certain foods, for example, were triggers for me. And if I started eating those foods, I wouldn't stop eating those foods. And so that was the experiment. And I got those foods out of the house. I learned that if I go to a party and there's a big bowl of Doritos there, I'm probably going to eat those Doritos. But if I went to the party with some of my own snacks, I was much less likely to eat those Doritos, and usually wouldn't have to eat them at all as long as I had things that were going to satisfy me. And so I think it's really, really important that if you're trying to lose weight, that you don't think of it as everything is like a have to and be super rigid. You want to be open to possibilities and open to things being shown to you. I, for example, was an emotional eater, and after my mom passed away, I was eating instead of having my emotions. And then I tried some different weekends that helped me with emotions, and then I didn't have the desire to overeat anymore. And it took a while. But I also know that there's certain things, like for me, drinking alcohol, for example, causes pain, gives me reflux and makes me feel horrible. And I still did it for a while. But then I realized that it was more important that I feel good. And so the experiment that I'm offering to you is, instead of being super rigid, to look for the things that make you feel good, that make your body feel good, that are actually going to help your body. And so it could be, certain type of exercise. Just because everybody loves to hike, maybe you don't love to be out in the woods. But there must be something that you like. And so I'm just giving you this possibility that the things that you've done in the past are not failures. The things that you've done in the past are just like mileposts along the way, where you can go, okay, I need to change course here because that didn't quite work. Maybe I lost weight on this, but then I gained it all back. So, okay, some of this might be okay, but I need to be able to eat this way for my whole life. And I can't eat that way for my whole life. So let's look at where I could eat that way for my whole life. And like I said, even within the Mediterranean diet, there's certain foods that might not be as good for your body. And so don't eat those foods. Don't feel like you have to follow anybody's guidelines or rules. So I hope that was helpful. I think letting go of rigidity and having fun is the biggest thing, enjoying the adventure. You want to enjoy this journey that you're on, and enjoy losing weight. If you're not enjoying losing weight and you're having a horrible time, you're probably not going to do it for very long. So that's my thing for today. Treat weight loss as an experiment, and also write things down. Keep track of what is it that isn't working and why isn't it working, and that way you're going to be able to try a new direction and see if that works, and you'll find the things that work for you. And one last thing, it's a lifelong journey. It's not like you're going to just be done, but if you're having fun with the adventure, then it's a great journey. And so that's it for today. I hope you all are having a great week, and as always, live with purpose, love with abandon, and eat with passion. I'll see you next time.